The hardest truth is this. The person manipulating you rarely looks like a bad person at first. They do not walk into your life looking suspicious. They come in quietly, smoothly, right when you are vulnerable, when you need understanding, when you need someone on your side. And by the time you realize you are being controlled, drained, emotionally twisted, it is already too late. That is the terrifying part, because manipulative people, people who manipulate others, do not always yell at you, force you, or order you around. No, a lot of the time they smile. They care. They make you believe that everything they do is for you. And that is exactly what makes them far more dangerous. Have you ever met someone who left you feeling exhausted after every conversation, but you could not explain why? Have you ever apologized for things you did not even do wrong? Have you ever felt like you were slowly losing yourself just to keep a relationship from falling apart? If you have, then this video is for you. In Stoic philosophy, one of the greatest forms of strength is not defeating other people. It is refusing to let your mind be ruled by them. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. But if you want to hold on to that power, you first have to see who is quietly taking it from you. And that is the problem. Manipulators do not leave obvious signs in the beginning. They leave a feeling, a very vague feeling. You sense that something is off, but then blame yourself for overthinking. You feel weighed down, but tell yourself they are probably just hurting. You feel like something is wrong, but you stay, you bend, you keep trying to understand them one more time, and one more time. In this video, we are going straight into how to recognize manipulators before it is too late, before they make you doubt your own feelings, before they turn your kindness into a tool to control you, and before you pay for it with your inner peace. Stay until the end, because the last sign is the one most people overlook, yet it is the clearest signal that you are in a toxic relationship you keep calling understanding, sacrifice, or maybe they will change someday. And trust me, when you hear it, you may remember someone, or worse, you may realize that person never really left your life. Let us begin. The first sign is never loud. And that is exactly why it is dangerous. 1. They make you feel guilty, even when you did nothing wrong. This is usually the first sign, and also the one that keeps people trapped the longest. You are just busy. You just need some time for yourself. You are simply expressing how you really feel. You are just saying no to something that does not feel right. But then, somehow, you end up being the one who feels guilty. They may not yell at you. No, skilled manipulators rarely do that in the early stages. They just sigh, go quiet, say a few soft little lines, just enough to make you turn the knife back on yourself. I just thought you understood me better than that. It is okay. Maybe I just expected too much. Yeah, never mind. I guess I was bothering you. You have changed. Sounds small, right? But that is exactly why lines like these are dangerous. Because they do not argue with you directly. They plant guilt in your mind, and then leave you to punish yourself with it. And if you are an emotional person, a responsible person, or someone who tends to put others first, you are especially easy to hook. You start giving in just so you do not feel like the bad one. You apologize just to ease the tension. You come back with longer explanations, trying to be better, softer, more patient, more understanding. And little by little they teach you this. If they are upset, it is your job to fix everything. That is manipulation, clear as day. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. If someone else's guilt is always powerful enough to pull you away from what you know is right, then you are not truly in control of yourself yet. You are living by reaction, not by principle. In modern life, this shows up everywhere. A partner makes you feel guilty for needing space. A friend makes you feel bad because you cannot always be there for them. A co-worker makes you feel selfish just because you do not want to carry their workload. even in families. Some people will use words like love, duty, or loyalty to pressure you into doing things that leave you drained. So, how do you apply this in real life? It is very simple, but not easy. The moment you start feeling guilty, stop and ask yourself, did I actually do something wrong? Or did I just disappoint someone? Those are two very different things. Doing something wrong is doing something wrong. But not giving someone what they want does not automatically make you a bad person. Practice saying short, calm lines like, I understand that you are upset, but my decision is not changing. I did not mean to hurt you, but I need this. You have the right to feel disappointed, and I have the right to keep my boundaries. Does that sound cold? Maybe at first it will, but really that is maturity, clear, grounded, necessary. And this is only the first step, because after making you feel guilty, manipulators usually go one step further. They make you doubt your own feelings and perception. 2. They make you think, maybe you are overreacting. This is one of the most subtle techniques, and one of the most dangerous. You feel uncomfortable with the way they talk to you. You feel hurt because you are being dismissed. You notice that their words and their actions do not match. You feel that something is off, wrong, unclean in the way they behave. But when you speak up, what do they say? You're too sensitive. I was just joking. You are overthinking it. It is not that serious. You always turn small things into big problems. And just like that, your feelings get brushed aside. No need to debate what is right or wrong. They only need to make you feel like your own perception can no longer be trusted. That is when you start bending yourself out of shape. Sometimes you are clearly hurt, but still force a smile. Sometimes you are genuinely wounded, but still tell yourself maybe you are just too weak. Sometimes you see something that is obviously wrong, but stay anyway, just because they said you were imagining it. Listen, if a relationship constantly makes you doubt your own emotions, then it is no longer a safe place. If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. Epictetus. That does not mean you deserve to be manipulated, no. The deeper meaning is this. You must learn to stand on the side of the truth inside you, instead of letting someone else redefine it for you. In modern life, this happens all the time. A partner keeps flirting and acting vague with other people, but when you feel uneasy, they call you controlling. A boss gives you work in a disrespectful way, and when you speak up, they say you cannot handle pressure. A friend keeps joking about your pain, then tells you to lighten up. When this keeps happening over and over, you do not just lose energy, you lose your inner compass. And once that compass is gone, it becomes very easy for a manipulator to lead you. The practical lesson here is this. Validate your own feelings before asking for anyone else's opinion. A lot of people get pulled off course because they ignore the first signals from their body and their intuition. After every conversation with that person, how do you feel? Lighter or heavier? Clearer or more confused? Respected or bent out of shape? Do not just listen to their explanations. Pay attention to your own state after being around them, and if needed, write it down. Write down what happened, what they said, and how you felt. Once it is on paper, you start seeing something that emotional chaos usually hides from you, the pattern. And manipulators always live through patterns. And the next pattern is a familiar one, a common one. They are only kind to you when they need something. 3. They are sweet when they need you, then turn cold once they get what they want. Have you noticed some people show up like sunlight right when you are about to walk away? When they need you, they become unbelievably gentle. They check on you. They care. They say all the right things that soften your heart. They make you believe that this time it is real. This time they finally understand you. But then, the second you come back, help them, forgive them, give them what they want, stay beside them, everything cools off again. They become less warm, less kind, less effortful, less appreciative. This is not just a random mood shift anymore. No, this is a strategy. They use warmth like a reward to keep you from leaving. In other words, they do not give affection consistently. They hand it out according to their needs. That is why you always feel like you have to earn back that softness. You have to be better, more understanding, less demanding, more accommodating, more good. But wait, should real love ever work like a reward and punishment system? When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. Epictetus. Here, the lesson is not self-blame. The lesson is to turn back and look honestly at what you are participating in. Are you calling inconsistency depth? Are you calling emotional suspension love? Are you calling manipulation they are hurt too, that is why they act like this? A lot of people stay not because they are happy, but because they are addicted to those rare moments when they are treated with kindness. That is a sad truth. In modern life, this sign is incredibly easy to spot. Someone only texts you sweetly when they are afraid of losing you. A friend only gets close when they need emotional support. A family member only softens their voice when they want you to do what they want. A co-worker only praises you when they want you to take on more work. Conditional kindness is not real kindness. So what do? Do not judge a person by their best version in the moments they need you. Judge them by consistency. How do they treat you when they do not need anything from you? Do they still respect you when you are no longer useful? Do they still show up when you are no longer easy to control? That is the real test. A mature person is not perfect, but they are consistent. A manipulator, on the other hand, changes at the perfect moment, the exact perfect moment, to keep you waiting. And when you start getting tired of that inconsistency, they usually bring out another tool that is even stronger. Pity. 4. They are always the victim in every story. This is where a lot of good people get trapped, because good people are naturally soft toward other people's pain. Manipulators know that. They tell you about everyone who has ever hurt them. Their ex betrayed them. Their friends abandoned them. Their family never understood them. Life has treated them unfairly. Everyone hurt them. Everyone wronged them. At first, you feel for them. Of course you do. Who would not? You think, maybe they react this way because they have been hurt so much. Maybe I should be more patient, more gentle. Maybe I should give them more time. And just like that, you start excusing things that should never have been accepted. They lash out? Maybe it is because they were abandoned before. They act controlling? Maybe it is because they feel insecure. They lie? Maybe they are afraid of losing you. They manipulate your emotions? Maybe they just have not healed yet. No. Stop right there for a second. Yes, pain can explain behavior, but it does not automatically justify behavior. A hurting person does not have the right to hurt you. An unstable person does not have the right to destroy your peace. Someone who was once a victim does not get a license to become the one causing harm. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. That is pure Stoicism. We do not always get to choose what happened to us, but we are still responsible for how we treat other people. If someone is always telling stories about how badly they were treated, but never once looks at how they are doing the same thing to you, that is a major warning sign. In real life, watch for this. When conflict happens, do they ever sincerely own their part? Or is it always because of the circumstances? Because of stress? Because you misunderstood? Because other people made them this way? Manipulators are very good at telling the story in a way that makes them look like the most pitiful person in the room, and makes you look like the cold one if you dare to speak up. The practical lesson here is this: learn the difference between compassion and permission. You can understand someone without handing your life over to them. You can feel for their pain and still keep your boundaries. You can care without having to save them. That matters. Not everyone who is hurting needs you to rescue them, and not everyone who makes you feel sorry for them deserves deep access to your life. But that is not all. One of the clearest signs of a manipulator is that they do not like your independence. They do not like it when you start standing on your own. 5. They get uncomfortable when you have your own mind, your own boundaries, or need them less. A manipulator does not necessarily want to love you. A lot of the time, they just want influence over you. They like it when you ask for their opinion on everything. They like it when you need them to feel okay. They like it when your mood rises and falls based on how they respond. They like it when you are always trying to keep the peace. They like it when you are soft. But the moment you start changing, their attitude changes fast. You say no more clearly. You stop telling them everything. You make more decisions on your own. You stop rushing in to comfort them every time they go cold. You are no longer easy to guilt trip. And then, what do they start doing? Sarcasm, distance, pressure. They say you have changed. They say you are selfish. They say you are not like you used to be. Sound familiar? That is because your growth is threatening their control. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Epictetus. Sometimes, to break free from manipulation, you have to be willing to be misunderstood. You have to accept that other people may not like the new version of you, the version with boundaries, conviction, and self-respect. But that does not mean you are wrong. In modern relationships, this is a very clear test. A healthy partner will be glad to see you become stronger, steadier, brighter. A healthy friend will respect the fact that you have a life of your own. A healthy co-worker will not get irritated just because you know how to say, "That is not my responsibility." On the other hand, a manipulator is usually only comfortable when you are easy to control. So what is the practical lesson? Watch how people react when you start becoming healthier. When you become calmer, do they respect it? When you become less dependent, are they happy for you? When you set boundaries, do they adjust? Or do they do everything they can to pull you back into the old version of you? The version that was easier to soothe, easier to scare, easier to control? That is a terrifying question, but it is a necessary one. And if you still have not seen it yet, the final sign says everything. In my opinion, this is the sign many people have seen, but never dared to face. 6. After being around them long enough, you are no longer yourself. This is the final sign, and also the heaviest one. At first, you may not notice it because everything happens slowly, very slowly. You start controlling your words more. You overthink before sending a text. You are afraid of upsetting them. You are afraid of their silence. You are afraid of a sigh, a short reply, a cold look. You no longer feel natural, no longer light, no longer clear. You become cautious, anxious, drained, but still keep calling it love, connection, responsibility. No, it should not be like that. A healthy relationship can have conflict, misunderstanding, exhausting moments, but overall, it should not make you lose yourself. If being around someone makes you feel smaller and smaller, less and less able to speak honestly, more and more suffocated inside your own emotions, then that is not connection. That is erosion. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Your greatest strength is not in trying to change them. It is in recognizing what is happening to you before it is too late. In real life, look at the very specific signs. Do you apologize too much? Do you feel relieved when they disappear for a while? Do you have to reword everything just to avoid their reaction? Have you slowly started seeing your friends less, speaking less honestly, being less yourself? If the answer is yes, do not brush it off. Your body and mind usually know long before your heart does. The final lesson here is this: do not judge a relationship only by how much you love someone. Judge it by who you are becoming inside that relationship. Are you more peaceful or more anxious? Are you clearer or more confused? Are you stronger or more exhausted? Are you more yourself, or are you performing a role just to be accepted? That is where the answer is. And sometimes, realizing someone is manipulating you is not the most painful part. The most painful part is admitting that you saw the signs a long time ago, but kept hoping they would become different. So, how do you recognize manipulative people before it is too late? Remember these 6 signs. 1. They make you feel guilty even when you did nothing wrong. 2. They make you doubt your own feelings and perception. 3. They are only sweet when they need you, then turn cold once they get what they want. 4. They are always the victim in every story. 5. They get uncomfortable when you have boundaries and need them less. And 6. The longer you stay around them, the less you feel like yourself. By now, you may be thinking of someone who drained you, but still made you feel like you had to understand them. Someone who made you feel guilty just for protecting yourself. Someone who entered your life gently, then stayed like a long season of rain, quietly rotting everything inside you. And what keeps so many people trapped is not that they do not see it. The truth is, they do see it. They see the unreasonable apologies. They see the nights spent blaming themselves too much. They see themselves getting tired, getting smaller, losing their inner voice. But they stay because of love, because of care, because of regret, because of hope. Hope is a beautiful thing, but in the wrong place, it becomes a cage. Stoicism does not teach us to distrust everyone. No. Stoicism teaches us to look at the truth without coloring it in. It teaches us to tell the difference between kindness and weakness, between love and dependence, between patience and self-betrayal. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Sometimes, becoming strong is not about winning an argument with a manipulator. It is about quietly stopping yourself from handing them the power to define your emotions, your worth, and your peace. You do not need to yell. You do not need revenge. You do not need to prove that you are right. You just need to wake up and step back. A lot of suffering in life does not begin with one massive collapse. It begins with small compromises, little moments of ignoring discomfort, all those times you told yourself, it is probably fine. Until one day you look back and realize you have gone too far away from yourself. So maybe the real question is not just who is manipulating you, but also how long have you been silent in front of the signs? And from today on, how much longer are you willing to stay silent? If this video hit you, maybe it is not because it said something completely new. Maybe it is because it finally gave a name to a feeling you have carried for a very long time, but never dared to say out loud. Manipulation is not always loud. A lot of the time, it is gentle, reasonable, very loving on the surface. And that is exactly why it is dangerous. If you have made it this far, I want to ask you one honest question. Which sign did you ignore the longest, simply because you did not want to believe that person was hurting you? Leave your answer in the comments. I truly believe your story might help someone else wake up just in time. And if you want more content about Stoic philosophy, self-respect, calmness, and how to protect your mind in this noisy world, subscribe to the channel Stoicism for Modern Men. Here, we do not learn how to become cold. We learn how to see clearly, see other people clearly, and also see ourselves clearly. Because sometimes, the moment you truly begin to grow stronger is not when you defeat someone. It is when you quietly realize you can no longer keep handing your heart, your peace, and your inner power to hands that never knew how to value them. And maybe that is the moment your life finally begins to change direction.